can these dry bones live? It's Ezekiel 37. And, I believe that Ezekiel was stunned at that question. Why are you asking me, God? Can these dry bones live? You know. You know if these dry bones can live. You're asking me. I'm mere mortal, you know. But again, God said, Ezekiel said, "Oh Lord, you know." And again he said, "Prophesy to these bones." I came by to tell you this morning, whatever dead bones you have in your body, I need us to prophesy to those dead places. Because upon the confession of your faith is when things happen. When you decree things and you declare things, it shall be established, the word said. Now, the fact that they were dry bones, it spoke to the fact that at some point there was life. These are now dry bones, but at some point in time, they were alive. Not only were they alive, they were human beings. Because our body, this body, your body, is made up with about 206 bones. 206. All over you. Everywhere you can feel, touch, they're bones. Your skeletal system, your spine, all parts of you, they're bones. And so there was life at one time in these bones. And God said, prophesy to those bones. What are the dead bones in your body this morning? What are you wrestling with? Where have you been? You were once on fire. You were once doing the will of God. You were once, just think back to when he called you first. How excited you were. And you wanted your whole family, you wanted the whole world to be saved. You want everybody around you to know about the love of God. But somewhere along the line, you became dry. You became like the dead bones. And dead bones can't perform. When Ezekiel looked at those bones and God said, can these live? I would have said, absolutely not. These have been bodies that decayed and the bones are left here. How is it possible that they're going to live again? But we can't underestimate the goodness and the greatness of God. God calls dead to life. No matter where we are today, no matter how we feel like we're empty, we're dry, we have no strength. God is saying, prophesy to yourself this morning and say, self, come alive, live again. You can live again. You can breathe again. Let the winds blow over you and be able to breathe again. Come back to your first love. Come back to the place where God called you. And this scripture here speaks to the state of the children of Israel. At one point, the children of Israel, they were one nation, under one kingdom. And because of their disobedience, and because of the disobedience of Solomon, God ripped the throne away from him, divided it into two. Now there's the northern kingdom and now there's the southern kingdom. That was not the intent of God. The intent was to have one kingdom and one king to rule over them. And I'm going to take you to the book of 1 Kings, chapter 11. It says, then Ahijah took hold of the new cloak which was on him and tore it into 12 pieces. He said to Jeroboam, take for yourself 10 pieces, for thus saith the Lord, the God of Israel, behold, I will tear the kingdom out of the hand of Solomon and give you 10 tribes. But he will have one tribe for the sake of my servant David and for the sake of Jerusalem, the city which I have chosen from all the tribes of Israel, because they have forsaken me and have worshipped Ashtoreth, the goddess of the Sidonians, Chemosh, the god of Moab, and Milcom, the god of the sons of Ammon, and they have not walked in my ways, doing what is right in my sight and observing my statutes and my ordinances, as his father David did. Nevertheless, I will not take the whole kingdom out of his hand, but I will make him a ruler all the days of his life for the sake of my servant David, whom I chose, who observed my commandments and my statutes. But I will take the kingdom from his son's hand, and I will give it to you, even 10 tribes. But to the son I will give one tribe, that my servant David may have a lamp always before me in Jerusalem, the city where I have chosen for myself to put my name. So that was the first downfall of Israel, the kingdoms being divided. And then, as you Bible scholars know, what happened after that? Israel was in complete rebellion against God. They did everything. They worshiped all kinds of gods that we just named, because God had warned them in the very first place, do not take foreign wives. Do not go to Egypt. Do not go to Sidon. Do not go outside of your race to get wives, because what they're going to do for you is that they're going to turn your hearts away from God. And exactly what he said not to do was exactly what Solomon did. His first wife was an Egyptian woman. And from there, things just went downhill. And so these dry bones represented the house of Israel. They were at a place now where they were actually dead. They were taken into captivity. Some of them were killed in war. It was a tough time in Israel. But God said to Ezekiel, prophesy. There's a better day coming. You can speak to these dry bones. Israel may have done what they should not have done. They have gone completely outside of my word. But I will remember them. I will not forsake them. No matter where they go, down in slavery, it doesn't matter. I am still God of Israel. They're still my people. And so you prophesy to those bones, because I'm going to bring them alive. I'm going to restore them. God said, I will restore the years that the cankerworm and the palmer worm and the caterpillar. For those of you who are sitting in a place of drought, of dryness, you feel worn out. You feel like you can't do it anymore. Or because of not obeying God, you found yourself like the children of Israel in a place that you shouldn't be. God still cares. And he's still going to look after you. And he said, I'm going to restore you. I'm going to bring you back to the house. I'm going to bring you back to that place that you once were, where you once trusted me, where you once believed in me, where you once trusted me. I am going to bring you back to that place. And Ezekiel prophesied over those dry bones. And the bones came back to life. No matter how far we have wandered, no matter what we have done, if we cry out to God, he is able to do the exceeding, the abundantly for us. He will restore us. He's not mad at us. Because even when the children of Israel, he allowed them to go down to Babylon in slavery, He was still concerned about them. He said to them, go down, build houses, do well, plant vineyards. He was still watching over them. Even though he allowed them to be captured and to be taken to a strange land, he still looked out for them. So God said, prophesy to the bones and say, O dry bones, hear the word of the Lord. Tell yourself,